Dear Daniel, life did not always look like this. They say life happens when you're busy making other plans. For me, it was bipolar disorder. It crept in and systematically, quickly dissembled my ability to function in society and rendered me scared, lost, and lonely. I lost the ability to focus, and the simplest of tasks became too overwhelming. Even though it felt like I had been abandoned, I still had one person in my corner out there on the front lines with me. Missy Goodman. Writing partner, best friend, soul sister, caregiver. This disease will bury you if it goes untreated. But with the help of medication, therapy, and the support of an amazing caregiver, I've gone on to be in a one-day-at-a-time recovery and have a career in the arts. This is the story of how me and Missy got there together. This is Letters to Daniel.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Recovery Unplugged, episode 19.
Wow.
The Letters to Daniel special. If you guys were in the cast and crew and you're watching this right now, and Amy sent you a link, then join live. Come in and say hello.
Yes. Say hello.
Please do.
We have Amy. Go ahead, Amy. Why don't you tell us who's in the room tonight?
Okay, so we have our line producer, John Spalding, and key grip extraordinaire, G1NBC TV. There's your plug. And, and Doug Kaufman, the script supervisor. And
my roomie,
and,
my homie.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time homie.
And set chef that we got to enjoy.
Oh yeah. You. Too bad you were allergic to
Yeah,
cats.
I feel bad about that.
Oh man, we had some goodies.
It took me a couple days. Like even that last house we were in, their house, you could tell there was a cat, but it wasn't that bad. But even like all the way home, I was sneezing. It was not good. Those kids down when we were at your house, Amy, like I don't know. I feel like us being there and like sitting outside and talking with people, like everyone kind of came out and wanted to see what was going on. Like having
what
that
did
truck.
they say?
No, nothing. But they were curious, so everyone.
Yeah,
was
it was
just
more
kinda coming
curious
out.
than anything.
Yeah,
definitely
it was
more
neat.
curious.
It was neat.
Well, that wasn't something that I got to experience. I was inside in that tight spot.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but Mark was incredible because it didn't matter how small the space was. He could make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he did. Mark
um,
Mattis is the man.
Yeah.
He's absolutely the man.
You don't, Letters to Daniel, if you've seen some of the images coming, that's because Mark and Clint have worked together hand in glove. Clint's color graded them, and Clint did the poster. And he got such a great angle of the shot you got. I don't think you could have taken a bad shot of that scene.
I mean, that poster, yeah, right. They did great during that scene. That picture that he grabbed on that poster, it was so compelling because you can see the different emotions on each person's face. You could tell, like, Amy's character. Oops, sorry, I got to turn this down. Amy's character was, like your character, she looked really worried and really, like, scared and nervous. And then Missy's character, was, like, strong and, like, giving your character a hug. And it was powerful. It's a cool poster. It definitely captures the essence of the story.
Not to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to pat myself on the back. That poster kind of was inspired by a shot that I took backstage. When Amy saw it, everybody was saying that's the poster shot, but they were looking for a similar one in HD for the poster, and Clint was able to find it.
Yep. That one that you got on your phone, man. You don't catch, like, people, we don't catch pictures
John,
like that on our phone.
John,
Yeah.
Missy wants to come on, but she doesn't want her camera to be on. How does she do that?
She just tell her to come into the Zoom room, and there's a video icon at the bottom, And
It's
if it's on, then you just turn it off. But it comes in, the default should be off. She shouldn't even have to turn her camera on.
I'm not ignoring you all. I'm just sending her this message.
That's
no
fine.
problem.
Yep, that's fine. We do that all the time. I have people call in on their phone, people that come in. And I'm sure you do too, Doug, with doing Zombie Palooza.
Oh yeah.
That people. I just want people to join as they feel comfortable.
Right.
So while she's doing that, Doug, how was the last couple days? I was sad. Like Brandon and I were kind of like hungover, sad that we couldn't be there.
Oh, after I was able to calm down from day 4, that one incident, I was actually okay. Still trucking on, days 5 and 6, and we got it done. I'm really happy that we got it done.
Good.
I feel bad for Jenny and Megan though, that had to ride in the Hotmobile.
I saw you post that on Facebook about getting that PVC air conditioner.
Yeah. It's bad enough that I drive a 1993 station wagon.
Yeah.
But it has leather seats, and only 2 windows are able to roll down, be rolled down, and one of them is one of those half windows. So it's only like 1.5 windows that can be rolled down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you sweat really quick in there.
Yeah, I went down with you the first day, and I was like, Doug, man, I took my driver's test in one of these, dude. And it was like I think ours was like a 90. But yeah, it brought back memories. All my friends were impressed though that I was able to parallel park and do all that kind of stuff, have the maneuverability in a station wagon.
Well, see, being a big guy, I love the big cars to begin with.
Yeah,
right. One of my favorite cars that unfortunately we only owned for about 6 months. We had a 1976 Lincoln Continental Town Car. You talk about a boat.
Yeah.
The sucker was about as big as my station wagon, and
yeah, I forget the Cadillac, but my cousin bought this '83 Cadillac boat when he was a junior, and it was huge. There was so much room, but it took so much gas. Hey, if you guys are watching live on the Amy Unplugged page, drop in some comments. We will read them out loud. If you were on Letters to Daniel, put in some comments about how that experience was for you. And we'll put up a link for you to come online as well. You just got to go to zoom.us and hit a number. It's pretty easy to get in.
Yeah.
Everybody really did their part on set.
Oh, yeah.
If everybody had...
We had to, Amy. We didn't want you to yell at us.
Yeah. Well, you know
what?
I may not have yelled at y'all, but...
We didn't want to go through what poor Missy had to go through.
Yeah. She told me I was mean
No,
too.
I think that's interesting. I thought you were you.
Yeah. You should have seen
maybe
us
there
on
was
the
some,
last.
Yeah, maybe there was some.
When they were off to the side a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah. I had to walk. I walked in on a couple of them, and I just got a death stare from Amy a couple of times. She's like, "What?"
The first 2 days.
My stuff can wait. My stuff can wait.
The first 2 days weren't your fault. Like, you had some locations that were, like, kind of like...
Yeah.
Oh, I was hot!
They weren't ready, man. They weren't ready.
But somehow we made it through.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it was because we had everybody doing their part. And no small part. I think there's Missy. Let
me change her name so we're not, like, putting her phone number all over
iPhone.
Oh, it's just iPhone. Okay, good. Because sometimes they come in and that like it's the actual person's phone number. Hey, Missy, can you hear us?
Missy. Oh, I wonder if her mic is off. Go on the microphone icon and click on it. So.
Yep.
Can you hear us?
If you're using your iPhone, Missy, and you can hear us, which I'm sure you can, right next to the video icon, if you tap the Zoom window, there's also a microphone. You can untap that, or you might get a prompt that says use system audio. And if you don't, you'll have to dial in.
And I don't know what the number is. It's way. I think she's messaging me. Ugh, I have no sound.
Does that mean she can't hear us, or we can't hear her? Because turn your volume up if you have no
Can
sound.
you? Oh.
Last minute change.
We're trying to get Missy in here, everyone, so just bear with us.
I just sent her a message. Okay, she can't hear us, and we can't hear her.
Okay.
So she's got complete signal issue.
Can you
if
give me
she's
the
still
dial
in there,
number?
tell her not to leave. Tell her to look in the chat, and I just sent her the dial-in number. And Amy, I'll send it to you too,
Okay,
so that you can have it.
that's great.
Well, we're live, everyone. The Letters to Daniel special on Recovery Unplugged, episode 19. Are we doing 20 of these?
20? Yeah.
No, we're not doing 20. We're doing 19.
I don't know who else I can find.
Okay, that's fine. We can go on hiatus for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for AOF, and
Yeah.
and Indie Gathering's not going to let me pick up my trophies.
What?
I can't get there. And Ray, people have abused the policy in the past. And
Pick it up for other people.
yeah, and I'm the victim of the crackdown, so I don't get my 12 awards. That means I don't enter 12 awards next 12 projects next year. I had a convention do that to me, and
You can't make Missy drive up and accept for Healing Hands.
She's gonna do the chat. She's not gonna call in.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
No, but they cracked down on it, and I understand their position, but I've entered a lot of projects in the past, and it just means I don't spend as much money on their festival. I mean, I can't, I go where I can get to, and if I'm prioritized, then I prioritize the festival.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not prioritized, then it becomes, how can I fit you in? Because I still love you.
Right.
But I can't, I can't spend, that's not just $35 a pop. They were over the course of the year. So it was 35, 40, 45, and that's times 12.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of money. So I don't mind doing it, because
but they don't want to give your plaque to someone else for you.
No, they got this. They want people to come
to the festival.
Come to the festival, and I understand their reasoning, but I can't do that. And it's not like I don't have plenty of awards from them. I've got 45 of them in here in my room. So Ray and Christina are great. I just I'm not going to spend that much money.
Yeah.
Next year, I will enter Letters to Daniel, because they were the first festival to recognize the documentary and give it an award, and it was honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of sick of being an honorable mention filmmaker at that festival, and I know Letters to Daniel is really going to be something special. Even it'll go in the short film category, because Clint, as I explained to Doug, the initial cut was only 61 minutes.
You told me that too.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. It was via Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
midnight one day.
Yeah.
Right the same day she was on the phone with me.
That Indie Gathering is like only 3 miles from my house this year. I'm kind of sad, and no one I know is going.
You know, if Brandon went, he could accept for his like I got an award for his episode of Recovery Unplugged.
Oh, he's got to go then.
He could accept it on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Eric William, you know, the other press guy that is there,
yeah,
and who was entered into the Indie Hall of Fame last year, he was in Back on Top, so I wanted to for that. He could accept for that, but that leaves 10 other projects unaccounted for, and I either want them all or I don't want any of them. And so that's okay. Lesson learned. And I will, there's worse things in life to go through than not get your award. But
it's still the name recognition though.
Yeah. And you know, at Indie Gathering, they pull
so you still
a lot
get your
of
name called out. They just don't give you your plaque.
Yeah.
Because you're not there.
Right. It's not like they erase you completely.
Right. I mean, it's on their website that your project won an award in this particular category. Here's where it placed.
What I couldn't believe. Okay, so I wrote 2 features. And me and Missy wrote 2 features. And they were our best features ever because, you know, each time you write something, you hopefully get better. And I felt like they were placement worthy, not honorable mention. But that's not for me to decide. That's their judges. It's subjective. And it was an honorable mention. What shocked me was that another script that was an honorable mention there, The Long Goodbye by Harold L. Brown, won for best script at AOF, and he won money for it. And he beat out, we were in the same category for TV pilot last year, and I was runner up, and I was like, that guy's a genius when it comes to writing. It floored me that he was honorable mention. But Indie Gathering, especially when it comes to writers and graduating them to filmmakers, they pull an incredible amount of talent in their writers. I mean, it's just amazing.
Wow.
You see, if you get recognized at all there, it's, take it seriously because the competition really is fierce for such.
Well, because it's so fierce, they might be judging a little too far too, or too much, or more than the other festivals. They might be going down to minus point, for every little thing. Who knows?
Yeah,
it's not for us to decide. And
they love me.
Still recognition.
They still gave me 12 awards.
Right.
That's
12 you didn't have.
I went 12 for 12. That's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just tired. I want I feel like my films get better, but they don't get exponentially better. There's just other people who are more advanced than I am. And I think with Letters to Daniel, I'd hope to have a feature, but there it will play as a short, even though by definition, it's anything over 44 minutes is a feature. But there, your film, if it's less than 55 minutes, it's a short. So, it'll go in that, it'll be in short drama. And I think at that benefit, I think we have an edge there for some of the nominations because we won't be competing against films that are an hour and a half or maybe an hour and 10 minutes long. Some of the shorts don't last really long enough to highlight a performance. And I really hope Jenny and Megan get nominated.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I know it's a long shot for me to get a director because there's a lot of filmmakers. It's like 169 films. They usually, last year it was 150. So, but Letters to Daniel, I talked to some interesting news. I talked to the person who gave me a letter of intent to distribute, I told him about what the progress was and what the film was looking like. I haven't seen it, but I'm really excited about it. I've showed him the poster. He can't wait to see the screener. So it will go on, like for that avenue, it'll go on Parables TV, which is like Roku or Fire Stick, and it's free for people to watch it, but commercials play, and so I would get revenue from those commercials.
Okay.
And then it also goes to his parent company, Uplift TV, which is on Spectrum and Direct TV, and I'd get revenue from there as well. And then he has a lot of other faith-based networks that he can reach out to and get this film on. Recovery Unplugged, the TV version that I have a little more ambitious about what it differs from the podcast, because it's more like a traditional sit-down interview kind of thing. And I think Oprah Winfrey meets like late night meets Oprah Winfrey, because it's like celebrities, and so and you talk about your feelings. I pitched him the synopsis that is a finalist at Script Summit, and he said that sounds really good. You have to I have to shoot the pilot.
Right.
But on the good front of that is we've already got our first sponsor signed on. And the way that would work is once, if they see the pilot, they like it, and they think it looks quality, that it goes on Uplift TV, because talk shows don't translate to like Netflix all that well. Like Chelsea Handler had a show, and the reason why it doesn't translate as well is because it's very much a current events kind of thing, and you quickly get dated on a streaming service. But Recovery Unplugged isn't that kind of talk show. So, but it would go on Uplift TV, so it would be on a station, one of the stations, and we could look toward. So, they are very interested in the property. So it's like I had good news tonight. And couple of last Thursday, I pitched the memoir, me to write the memoir, The Making of Letters to Daniel, to Hydra Publications, and they. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. So I'm stopping.
So what would that entail? Like, what is the memoir of The Making of Letters to Daniel? Like, when it's like start to finish, when would that memoir what would that memoir cover?
It covers the journey of the film, and that the journey of the film goes back to 2015.
Okay. So 2015 through the end of filming, or through like September when it goes? Or to be determined.
Well, the draft is targeted to be finished by September 5th. So wherever we're at September 5th, that's where the journey will end.
I got you.
But we targeting it to have it ready for Imaginarium, so we can sell it at Imaginarium and benefit from the fact it's screening there.
How were you with the news about the feature being 45 minutes concise, and how were you with that? And how long did you struggle with it?
Okay, there was the initial sting of disappointment because I really wanted that theatrical release. But what I think it's going to do is going to work as a way to launch me up. I can do all kinds of things with it. But I can also use it as a calling card or proof that something of mine has been produced at a quality level, and people will either hire me for a job to write or whatever, or they will fund my project. So I look at it like that. Like DVD is still open. I just have to find a DVD distributor.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it could go on PureFlix too.
Okay.
That's the Christian version of Netflix, and it's huge. I've been to the site. It's monolithic. And then it could also go on other streaming sites. And of course, there's the sneak preview on G1 NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's not going to have a theatrical debut,
right,
we'll get tons of people there.
Yeah, but I kind of want to hold off. I want to do a DVD release and then show the show on, because I want people to buy the DVD if they're going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, my casting crew has been doing a phenomenal job in pushing Letters to Daniel. Like their pictures from the set, and the poster got shared 12 times. There's 140 likes on it. And people had and then that's just the poster that I posted. Doug took it, shared it, and that post has been shared 5 times. So it's really getting out.
It's starting to get out.
Right.
And
speaking of starting to get out, Amy, I told you, but I didn't tell you, John.
Okay.
When I was in Dayton, remember I was at a random bar celebrating a birthday, and I was talking to somebody who about Letters to Daniel, saying, I literally just got off a set tonight. And I'm here, helping Rick celebrate his birthday. And they were saying, what's that? What's the name of it? And I said, Letters to Daniel. Wasn't that a book?
What?
Her book that she had.
Yeah.
So a random bar, random person in the middle of freaking Dayton area, Ohio, knew about Letters to Daniel. I was like, oh, okay, you've heard of this.
I've done a good job of pushing it. And since G1 NBC is the Cuyahoga County affiliate, I'd say John has done a good job of raising Healing Hands Entertainment's profile, and thereby raising Letters to Daniel's profile in Ohio. That helped me get the book deal, Doug. Because my two actresses that I wanted for, one, my mother, and then the other as Tabitha, the second therapist, were SAG actresses, and they were going to do it under the radar, but their agents said, hell no. They knew about it. So it's like, and one was in New York and one was in LA. So they're, Letters to Daniel's kind of been a thing since 2013. First a blog, then a book, then a documentary script, and finally the incarnation of the movie. It's really going to pop when it comes out. I think we're going to do really well. And it's already taken off on social media.
Starting to, yeah.
And so to get that, to translate that into watches on streaming services, and to buying the DVD would be nice. I plan on touring universities and colleges with it too.
Yeah, I think that's a great start too. I think screenings at colleges focusing on talking about mental health advocacy and issues.
Yeah, a lot of bipolar onset starts, like mental health issues arise during people's time in college, because it's the first time that they've got one foot in the adult world. They've got all this stress and studying, but they also got to figure out how to take care of themselves a little bit without mom and dad to support them.
Mm-hmm.
And it will, I had problems. My onset was most likely my junior year of high school, and it was a depressive episode. And when I got to my senior year, and I kept a journal, and you could look at the handwriting and tell I was not. It was like scribbles. You get to when I was manic, it was like really tight and it was messy. If I was calm, I could have good handwriting. If I'm manic, I don't have good handwriting. It translates into everything you do. But everybody on set, let's talk about that hotel. It was not the best. It was what I could afford, but I didn't realize it was such a...
The first night we were there, Doug went down to his car to go get something. He came back up, and I saw the conversation because I was kind of looking out, but I didn't hear what was said. And I saw the interaction, and I saw this guy come, yo, did you call? And I see Doug like, no. And then Doug comes back up.
Oh, no. Well,
Doug comes back up. Yeah, so Doug comes back up, and he goes, you're never going to believe this, Doug.
So anyways, before you guys showed up, I'm outside smoking a cigarette because I'm following the no smoking rule. You know, I saw the signs. Okay, fine. I'll stand in the parking lot. I'm in front of the dumpster in a no parking zone. You guys pull up, and then a white car pulls into that space. And by him pulling into a no parking zone, I kind of had a feeling he was up to no good. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. Lit my cigarette. I'm walking away. He opens the door. Yo, you got a cigarette? Okay, fine. I'll give you a cigarette. Can I go? Yo, man, you the manager here? No. No. Why? You want to buy any ice? What? First night.
That's when you know. That's when you know you're in a good spot.
And that's when I went upstairs. And that's when I told you guys, I'm like, you ain't gonna believe this.
That's why I had somebody walk me to my car at the end of the night. I knew when I got there, I just felt so bad. We were so embarrassed. We wanted to reimburse everybody for staying, like if you had to buy toilet paper or if you had to buy a towel or, I couldn't believe that they would. So it's an extended
the
stay.
Towels were so thin.
It's still hotel towels. A hotel provides toilet paper too,
Right. You go and they're like, no, you got to wash the towels yourself. And I'm like, this towel is as thin as a paper towel.
Yeah. Lucky I brought my own.
So I'm like, F it, I'm going to buy my own towel. Because my fat ass is not using this paper thin rag to dry off my body.
I stayed in an extended stay hotel up in.
Was it an extended stay though? It was an in-home or in-town suites.
In-town suites extended stay.
But extended stay isn't the brand. The extended stay is just the type of hotel it is. Yeah.
They have like a small kitchenette if you have to be there for like a week or whatever. But I stayed in one for 9 months up in Nowheresville, Cadillac, Michigan, covering for a tech. If the hotel towels get dirty, the hotel washes them. They also provided me toilet paper. You guys are the same thing.
I've been in a small dorm before, but that puts a small dormitory to shame. And when there's 3 of us,
and we're all big guys.
Big. It was like, okay.
I didn't realize it was so bad.
Brandon said he was going to take the cot the first night. He fell asleep in the bed, face down.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's like, oh, you want me to take the cot? I'm like, no. You already slept in the bed. I'm fine in the cot. No, we're not switching.
Oh, I thought I think my favorite line of the whole time was when we were at Misty Parker's house, the first house. You were there, John.
Okay.
Where it was supposed to be the crappy apartment. It was a good look. When me and Misty lived in an apartment, it wasn't that it was a bad apartment. It was just that we were house broke. It was a decent apartment in a good area of town. But when they're sitting on the floor, and it's supposed to be the night before Amy and Missy are moving back to Kentucky, and Brandon and Jenny kiss, And she said, "Your lips are so soft." And he says, "I know, it's that Cleveland water." What
Dude,
the hell is that supposed to mean?
that dude has one-liners just like in the back of his brain, and he just throws them
Whoa.
out, man.
Brandon is a genius.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Look, what I worry about with the film getting cut is people who made the trip. Obviously, their scene gets cut because there's a lot of one scene people, and but I can't worry about that. I worry about Brandon getting cut. He's so good. I hate to think I wasted his time, his valuable time, to come down here and do this movie. But as long as Clint is not someone who cuts just a cut. You know, when you get into a 48-hour film competition, Clint has 22 years experience editing. So if he cuts something, it's for a reason, or he services, and I do think the same way. Everything services the story first. Whether it's acting, writing, directing, editing, you're servicing the story. Because
the story was what matters.
Yeah, if you don't do justice to the story, then you know, I could do tricks and tips with the camera, but it could be right. But I was, by the time Wednesday got, the end of Wednesday, and I don't mean the scenes we shot at the doctor's office and the man on drugs scene.
Okay.
I'm talking about when we were at OG Auto. That man, Hippie Head, I do want to give a shout out.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to Hippie Head and OG Auto. The people who stepped up to be actors in my movie when people didn't show, he was perfect. He played the scuzzy truck driver that Amy thinks is following her, and he was a mechanic.
Right.
So
he's already got that look.
Yeah, and he's got this beard, but he's a total sweetheart. He totally rearranged his business. Like, he pulled cars to the back. Lots of cars to the back, so Mark could pull in and set up. And so we're setting up for the first scene, and this dickhead comes over and he says, "Who's in charge here?" And I said, "Me." He goes, "Does Brian know about this?" And Tim said, "First of all, if you're calling Hippie Head Brian," he goes, "Not even his wife calls Hippie Head Brian. If you're calling Hippie Head,"
So he was
Brian,
just a random customer who thought he knew
no,
somebody?
He was okay. So what happened was they were like a business on the other side of the OG Auto. There's another building.
Okay.
And this woman came out and she was giving us the stink eye. So she called her landlord of the building and had him come down.
Wow.
And
that's almost as bad as the gas station lady.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're right. So Hippie talks to him, and when he comes back, he says, "Damn!" He goes, "Some people just ain't got a life to live," and he was saying stuff, and then Mark goes, "Yeah, some people are just," and then he shouted, "Dickheads!" So the guy, that was Mark.
Yeah,
and Mark is.
Oh yeah, Mark don't mess around, man.
No.
And of course, that just happens to be the day that I fell asleep, threw my alarm. I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, I got a text from either you, well, a couple of people text. Where are you? Where are you?" "I am in my car right now. I will be there in 25 minutes. I could not believe I slept through my alarm.
Well, that's what you get for staying up. That's what you
action.
get for pulling all-nighters.
He was doing the footage. He was like making
I
sure.
know.
Oh my God, Clint sent me a message about halfway through. Like, it was Wednesday. It was like the Wednesday after filming. He had already gotten, like, by Wednesday of last week, he already had the scene by scene edit done. And by Friday, he had the initial cut together. Mm. That's how good and how fast he is. And he says, "Well, I kind of had a mild heart attack the other night when I went to get the footage, the first 3-day footage off the hard drive, and it crashed. And I went, and there's no backup. I'd lied and told Mark there was so he wouldn't worry, but I thought, oh my God. And he said, but fortunately, it was just a faulty cord. And see, hard drives have a tendency of crashing, and my Mac is reading it just fine. And I'm like,
Mark, if you're watching this, that was a lie. We had a backup.
For a couple of days till I got home, and I'm like, well, I'm home. Clint's got the footage. Goodbye.
Well, it worked out. He's got an initial cut, and I'll have a cut to look at. Guesstimated this Friday.
Oh wow.
He wants me to write some new voiceovers because like some of the connective tissue got lost in the edit because we like in the drop, you know how we drop certain scenes, it provided setups, it bridged certain scenes, and without them it hurt it. So that's why we have a 61-minute movie that's going to be cut down to 45 minutes.
Right.
But he asked for new voiceovers. And I was like, God, I don't have any money. I'll have to ask Maria. And she'll want something. Maybe not a lot, but she'll want something. And right. And I went to her and I was like, I have to write more voiceovers. And maybe 5 to, he go, well, how many? And is it paid or non-paid? And I was like, God, I gotta have, it wasn't a question if I was going to give her money. It was going to be how much, because it's not like we can do it without her. She's the voiceover artist on all the rest of the movie. It's not like we can change.
Right. It wouldn't sound right. It wouldn't.
Yep.
We can't like change midstream. It would be ridiculous. I would look
Rick
like
Plummer says he can't wait to see the finished product.
Hey, well, to be at hopefully it'll be at Indie Gathering next year.
There you go.
2020, yeah.
Yeah.
Better be there.
Right?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of Ohio people. I know I would not miss Indie Gathering for the moment. I really want to screen it there because, they gave Letters to Daniel its first award. They didn't screen it. Imaginarium gave it its premiere. The documentary, but they did give it its first prize. So okay. I do want to honor that. They have been big supporters. It's like, okay, you know how Dell's bit, you saw, okay, do you remember Dell, John?
Oh yeah.
And how he was like kind of larger than life and bold and brash and just said some stuff that we were amazed that he said. I wasn't surprised. It didn't shock me because because he just says what's it on. He doesn't hold it in. And
he definitely does not.
But Ray strikes me as someone who's like no bullshit and he's like a salt of the earth kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit more low key than Dell, but what's amazing, both of them like action movies, and there's like legendary stunt awards. I could probably nominate Ray for some stuff out there, but they are both very passionate, even though one festival is much smaller than the other. They are both of the directors and both of the creators of their festivals are incredibly passionate about their festivals. And right. Anytime you sit through an award ceremony with Ray, I remember it was 2015 and there was that's when they didn't give the belts. They still gave these giant ass trophies. And this one movie took all the awards for like best actor, best actress, best movie, best cinematography, best director. Now, when it was best film overall, like over feature and short film and microfilm, he said, okay, and during this time, he explains, if you score 90, it means something at this festival. He goes, it means your work is good and it's quality. And then he goes, and then he picks up the trophy with one hand and slams it on the table and says, but I don't ship. And that, I remember that. And I would always make plans to go because I didn't want them saying, I'm not going to give you your awards that you earn. It's expensive, it gets expensive to ship.
Right.
And the only time they shipped me anything was last year because I picked up, if you win like at Horror Hotel, you can pick up at Indie Gathering. Or if you win at Indie Gathering, you can pick up at Horror Hotel.
Gotta go to at least one, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
And I was picking. I couldn't afford to go to Horror Hotel, but I had like 8 or 9 awards, and so I went to get them. And what they realized is they didn't have enough of the plaques to give me for the awards I won. So they said, we'll ship them. Well, it's because that was on them. I had showed up and they were in storage. And because, they've got all kinds. You've been to the award ceremony. There's all these leftover trophies and plaques whenever the award ceremony is over.
Right.
Yeah.
And they say, if you want a duplicate award, come up and get one.
Right. If it's a co-writer or you want to give, if it's you want to give one like maybe your director or whatever for best film or something.
Well, Laura Massey Klein's watching.
Okay.
And Rick Plummer said, I'll be there even if I have to sleep in my van.
Wow.
Now that's dedication.
I did that one night at, what was it, Horror Hotel one year?
That sounds like a Doug move.
Yep.
I'd sleep in my car, too. I slept in my car before. I don't care. Go to Walmart, go to the bathroom, sleep in the parking lot.
Hell, I just parked it in the hotel parking lot and I'll sleep there when I need to go to the bathroom, lobby bathroom.
I tried to do that on spring break, and they kick you out because you don't have a hotel room.
Well, I was, there with the fest. They see me interacting. I got the badge.
Right.
Did you, speaking of hotels, have you all seen the new host hotel for Indie Gathering and Horror Hotel?
I saw the new hotel for the festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right by my house. It's a nice one.
Yeah. It's further north. That means it requires me and Missy to drive further than we already did.
Well, for me, it's actually closer because it is now, I have to go south in order to get to that hotel. Well, now I have to go south as far.
It's 30 minutes extra.
Yep, it's a half hour.
So instead of...
Yeah, but the restaurant will be open, though, right? I mean, we went last year for 2 days, and I'm like, why is nothing's open? How could you not prepare for this festival?
Yeah, the management, it's really gone downhill.
Yeah.
And they had to protect their brand. They needed to get out of there.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Did you see Jeffrey Calhoun, Shady Journal entry number 127? I made it to my car alive, but somehow I feel changed inside. Shady Journal entry number 455. I slipped on a mysterious substance, but the host, the hotel staff doesn't want to help me. It's like I was like,
when you're in a shady hotel when they ask you to pay in advance.
Yeah,
Why?
that was another one.
They don't,
so
why? Don't you always have to pay in advance?
No.
At a hotel? When you check in?
No.
At Vegas, I do.
Oh, in Vegas you do?
In Vegas, I had to check in at the Palms, and that's a luxury hotel.
Yeah.
How I managed.
I've never paid for a hotel room at check-in.
Gotcha.
Every time
Missy
I've been
finally left.
Oh.
Get out of here.
She probably.
We love you, Missy.
She probably just realized how to get out. She's probably spent the whole time trying to figure out how to turn it off on her phone. What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching live. We appreciate you doing that. Keep your comments coming. If you guys have any questions for Amy or Doug or myself, either about the filming of Letters to Daniel or what's coming up next for Recovery Unplugged or Letters to Daniel, put it in there.
I will say Letters to Daniel will have its test screening October 12th at noon at the Ramada Plaza and Conference Center in Louisville, Kentucky, and the address is 9700 Bluegrass Parkway, Louisville, Kentucky. And it's
is that where we shot in the second day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're gonna screen in the room.
Is it gonna be open?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Oops.
Right. We won't know till day of.
Oops.
You know, it was like I arrived there and like we just beat the storm there, and
everybody just beat the storm.
under it. Everybody's huddling under the thing.
Awning.
And
No.
Mark says, "Is there breakfast stuff?" Well, there was, but it was just buried deep down in the tote, and I didn't know that it was, and because I didn't have Missy there backing me up. And he said, "I'm hungry." I said, "Tell me what you want. I'll send someone to get you something." Because Mart, if anyone gets special treatment on that set, it was Mart. Because without him, we couldn't have made the movie.
For sure.
Right. You don't have anybody on camera.
Doug and I went up front. A couple of the actors went up front, too, into the lobby, and they let us have coffee, and there were some pastries and stuff like that some other people may have taken. I did not. But I did go on the exercise bike and Zoom with my children to say hello. Misty Parker says, "Hope I can see it. I'll be volunteering there this year." So this year, Letters to Daniel will not be screening, but in 2020 it will be at Indie Gathering. As long as that's what you're talking about, Misty.
Well, no. Misty's talking about Imaginarium.
Oh, yeah.
Imaginarium.
You should be able to see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she's volunteering, so she doesn't know if she'll have time. But I think...
You're volunteering. That means when it's time for Letters to Daniel, you are not volunteering, and then you're volunteering after Letters to Daniel. It's only 45 minutes. It's your lunch break.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Amy loves when I tell people what to do.
Oh, my God! She let us use her house.
Is that her?
That was her house, yes.
The one house we were all at?
Yeah, the really nice house.
Misty, you're awesome. I hope that no coffee cups were out of order when you got back home or any hot pads. But that's the only thing I touched in the house except maybe a couch.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. You have a beautiful home, and we appreciated being there and being on set that day.
That's what, day 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Was it day 5?
Nope. 4.
No, it was day 4. That
the
was
place with the open fireplace outside, or the fire pit outside?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was day 4.
Day 4, okay.
No.
It was 5. I was actually
then we weren't
lucid for this one.
Misty Parker's house is where you had to lay down and rest.
Yeah, that's day 4.
Okay, so that's day 4.
Yeah, that's day 4.
Okay.
There was a fire pit. Yeah, I got confused. There was a fire.
She said someone left a sock. Doug, was that you?
No,
it was one of the actresses.
She said, "LOL, you're welcome." Someone did leave a sock. ... And Anita Farmer Bergman said, "LOL, a sock."
Of all things, a sock.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh, you know what? It could be Caitlin. Caitlin Drupp.
Oh, she did, like, everybody, like, I don't know who didn't pick up the slate, like,
yeah,
right? It's like everybody did at some point. Tim, Caitlin, Victoria, you picked up the slate once, Doug. You did.
Yep, on an MOS on day 1.
I hope I remember. Oh, I forgot that you picked up the slate, John. Oh, so
I don't think I
Dude,
forgot.
I
think
was
it's on
racking up the IMDb credits.
Yes, you were. I don't know.
Doug didn't give me all of them, but I know I got them.
if I can.
What you talking about, Willis?
Slate holder. What I did special effects.
Yeah.
Oh, visual effects,
Yeah,
right?
man,
Visual effects.
come on.
Yeah. That was actually a really cool shot that he thought of on the fly like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Somewhat. He sent. Clint sent the screen grab of that picture. It looks. Megan looked really good. The lighting looked really fantastic.
Julie Suter said connection issues tonight. If we're having bad connection issues, let me know. I know there's been a little bit of issue, but just so you also know, we are recording this. I play it back and then put the recorded version up on YouTube. You can also join live with the links that were sent. Laura says it was in the bathroom, the sock. And then Misty wanted to know if you guys found the boom mic.
Yes.
Okay.
It was down in the. Oh no, that was Mark's. He found it. He found it on his truck. Well, actually, Anna Maria found it, but she found it on his truck.
Okay, good. And the sock being in the bathroom, that could have been Megan on the bathroom shot.
Yeah. Everybody, Mark squeezed into some places. That, I think, is the one I think gets me the most. That he managed to squeeze in there with with Jules to do sound and those two girls. That, I don't know how, and that camera. And the
wow.
I'll tell you, you give Mark a lot of credit too, but your sound people really came through as well. Like, your sound people were... No? What? You can't put people on blast on the special episode where we're thanking everybody.
No, if it weren't for Justin and Jules, I wouldn't have had any sound at all because I needed people to do it and people who could do it.
That's what I mean. It was great that they were able to step in like on such short notice and be there and be all in. It was perfect.
They had the right attitude. They were really good for set morale. Justin as the man on drugs because we decided we couldn't use Doug twice because
did you guys put his blue eyeshadow back on, the one that he was like test running on?
No,
we should have done that. That would have been perfect. Just mess them all up.
Yeah.
His face was dirty. He dirtied up his face and his hair, and put on a beanie. And at first we're having him go far away and then run up to the girls whenever they're standing outside the car. And we do that about 3 times. I said, Mark, I don't think he can handle another run up. So Mark says, just stand on the other side of the car, and whenever she gets to this line, run around.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, because you already got the long shot, so, you could just do a cut, go to the actresses, and then cut when you cut back. He's right there.
I love Jules. I loved Justin. Without them, Jules came through at the 11th hour, like a week before shooting. She says, I can do this.
Is that the lady that had just had a baby? Or she was trying to figure out if her husband would watch the kids? I thought there was someone who would like...
Romanian?
No. I never heard from her.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. I found someone...
Rick Plummer said he wished he could have came down when Doug asked him to be PA.
Yeah.
It would have been, if he had been on set, it would have been great because Mark could have used him.
For sure.
That was day... What was it? Day 4? No. Day 5 and 6, I think.
Day 5 and 6 after Brandon and I took off.
Oh, he feared the Reaper. He was like, I'm not going to be able to do this without John here. Up until now, he was bragging about you. He said John's been saving our ass, and
too nice, too
John,
too complimentary.
You were a star backstage, dude.
Too complimentary. I would have, like I told him, and I told you, Amy, I like working with you. I believe in the film, and I believe in what it stands for, and I was happy to be on set, and I learned a lot about. I learned just as much from Mark as he felt I was helpful to him.
I learned a lot from Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an experience I'll never forget. I would run that dude's sets whenever he asked me for half of anything that he would ever offer me.
I told him, look, you know what? Okay, I said, give me gas money, and I'll come down and work on any film you want me to. He made my dream come true, so I owe him time on a set.
I hope he's not watching. I hope Janet's not watching. I don't want them to really hold us to that contractually.
And something tells me Janet will.
Oh yeah.
I've only talked to her
she
a couple
watched
times.
last week. She was watching last week and engaging pretty good. So
Janet is a wonderful person, but I would never want to make her mad. She's sweet as pie, but if you mess with her or mess with someone she cares about, she is from Arkansas.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. She is from Arkansas.
No, not in a bad way. It's just her red comes out. You know, rednecks. Do I have to explain it to you?
Well, you have to explain it to America. Please tell us more. No, you don't.
No, you don't. I have red. When people get to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's been a couple times where I thought I've got to you.
Yeah.
And I like try to find like a corner to like duck around.
I'm not that bad.
No.
Unless you're Missy. Missy, like, I had to be nice to everybody else, and unfortunately, all things considered, I held my shit together, but I was like really manic, and I could have just dissolved in, like, when I thought those two scenes from the church weren't on the footage, that the files were corrupt.
Oh, the last couple that day.
I literally lost sleep that night.
You didn't sleep that night. There's no losing it.
That's why I lost it.
Do it.
And so Doug comes in and he goes, and Mark goes, I'm really not comfortable. And see, I know when to be worried. If Mark says, I'm not comfortable with that until I know it's there. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And Missy, I was like, oh. And Missy goes, Amy, just calm down. And I just started crying. I said, my movie's ruined. These people came down here.
Yeah, that was after day 3.
I fought with that drive all night.
2 a.m., right, is when my cot crashes. So my fat ass falls to the floor, and I hear Doug go, oh my God, John, are you okay? And I'm like, oh my God, Doug, what the fuck are you doing still awake? So then I get off my cot, I just roll, and the last thing I wanted to do was lay on the floor of this nasty hotel. But I was so tired, there's nowhere to go. It's the only spot. So I lay on the floor. Fall. I fall asleep. I have never slept on a floor so hard in my life, but it was day 3. And after day 3 was so long for me. It was so rough. And like, dealing with the Somali children at the church and with just kind of everything we went through. Sudanese. I apologize. And then I woke up at 4:30, just like randomly to turn, and I look over and I'm like, Doug is still awake. And I went right back asleep.
I was like, they say no smoking in the hotel. I was going through cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. I'm like, I gotta save this footage. Luckily, it finally transferred over, and it finished transferring over at 6:05.
Yep.
Call time was 7.
Yep.
I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get any sleep.
Like, I was in the shower before Doug because he was still working.
Yeah.
Well,
and then I I was checking a couple of the files because I knew that was one of the scenes that was going to be absolutely critical. So before I shut down and bring the laptop over to the first location, I played a couple of the clips. I'm like, oh, my God, it's saved. And that's when I packed up, ran downstairs, and took off.
Yep.
Once I knew the footage was all there,
Yeah.
it was okay, but I had a meltdown on set. I started crying.
Yeah. Oh, I was having a meltdown that night about that, saving that footage.
Well, you just
I
impressed
couldn't
Julie
believe-
Suter, who's also from Arkansas, by the way, Doug. She says Arkansas here too, but then she says, "Wow, Doug."
Yeah, it was
Beast mode, Doug Kaufman.
A total nightmare.
Everybody did their part. If everybody, and it's like I said, at some point except for Mark, at some point during the film, I was mad at all my crew. Maybe like not John, but I was like mad. Like I was like literally raging mad, and it was not because anybody had done anything wrong. It was just because the pressure was on.
Well, that's why I always said,
bipolar disorder, and
well, that's why I pulled you to the side a couple of times. It's like, we got you. You're in good hands. Relax.
Yep.
We got you. And I saw what you were going through. I'm like, I gotta say something, but that day 4.
You know what? All things considered, by the time we got to day 6. It was, Missy said I was the queen of the side eye. Like if she would make a suggestion to direct, she said I would give her the dirtiest look out of the corner out of my eye. And that's why it wasn't noticeable. And she mentioned this to me after the shoot. She goes, "Yeah, I probably kind of resented a little." And I was like, "Well, if you let me start something on my own." But Missy really did stuff. Missy was a force that she did the things that I couldn't handle because I was handling directing.
Mm-hmm.
She did everything else.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't been a monster producer, I couldn't have done what I did. And she goes, "I did it for you, Amy." And I said, "I know." And she's going to AOF next year. And I said, "Are you ready for our life to be put on blast to people we know?" And because did you hear Steven Zimmer, John, when I said we're getting ready to film an argument? Because I don't believe Amy and Missy ever argue. I'm like, and then by the last day, I said, "This is the one where Amy and Missy argue." Doug said, "Didn't we already do that scene?" No.
No, a different argue. We argued a lot.
Right.
No, it's already 10:39. Oh my God.
I know, man. We got to get rolling. Rick says, "Man, Doug was killed when he got to my apartment."
Yeah.
Oh, I was gone.
Now, Rick wasn't birthday boy, was he?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's why I was.
Happy belated birthday, Rick.
That's why I stopped there, because the timing just happened to be right, and it was perfect. So I'm like, yeah. I'll be there. But dude, man, after the filming and the no sleep and all that other stuff, and then I had to put up with the hot car for the 3-hour trip from Louisville to the Dayton area. We're just outside of Dayton. And of course, the traffic started backing up around the border.
Oh, in Dayton? Yeah, the minute you get into Cincinnati, it's like from Cincinnati to Dayton is like...
Yeah. And that's just making me hotter and hotter. And so, like Rick said, by the time I walked in this door, it looked like I was drenched. I was covered in head to toe. Like, I ain't going nowhere tonight. Tomorrow we'll celebrate your birthday. I got to take a shower.
Can we wrap up, John? Yeah. I kind of got to do something.
You got to go to the bathroom, don't you? All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys were in Letters to Daniel or part of the cast and crew, we appreciate you all so much.
Yes, I love you all.
Next up is the screening. Right? Next up is the screening at Imaginarium.
Yes.
We'll be Recovery Unplugged is going to go on hiatus for a little bit, but we will podcast back on this station back on Amy Unplugged. If we have an interview that comes up, or if Amy wants to come in and do some stuff, we'll set up a show. But all that stuff will go on Amy Unplugged. And we'll see you guys at Imaginarium for the screening of Letters to Daniel. And
Test
then
screening.
and then it'll be streaming after we sell some DVDs. It'll be streaming right here.
Yes,
Just
it
one
will.
quick thing, John, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Ginny, Brandon paid the ransom money for his pillow.
Is she still holding that hostage?
No, I had it. I had it.
Brandon shouldn't have to pay for shit. All right, everybody. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Doug.
All right, see you later, guys.
All right. Bye, everyone.